And off we go, number 70. 70. If you're keeping
Right?
score at home, this is podcast number 70.
Amazing. And welcome to 2021, where everything changes for the better.
Here we go. Flip the page. Get a new calendar. I need to get a new desk calendar. Do you write things down on a desk calendar? Is that what's your form of recording your life's events to come and
Yeah,
it transpired?
I've always written, and I still do that. I made sure and got a new calendar for all the changes in the world. My calendar that I got, because I like to write notes when I work and things I want to keep track of, right? So for this year, I got the daily planetary guide because I'm going to follow my horoscope this year, Tom, because it's my big 60. Remember, it's my big important year.
I can't fight it. You know me. I was always talking about how that the last winter solstice, I was there when the astrologer gave that gloom and doom prediction for the 2020. By the way, my name's Tom Wise.
Oh, hello, I'm Melinda Mckinsey, and we are
Hello.
some shit with you today.
Are we going to keep it light and lively?
That's what we say.
We're not talking about you know who or you know what.
No, I want to talk about, I've got some horoscopes. I got a couple books to show you that I'm super excited about. And I want to talk about New Year's Eve traditions and what kind of a gift you're going to give yourself today for this start of this fresh, brand new year.
You know, I'll answer that question right now. I've effed up on a couple of different serious levels, and I've decided I'm forgiving myself and moving on.
Good. That's a good one.
Yeah, I mean, I screwed up business badly this year. So, but the potential is still so super high. So I say, you know what? You've done what you've done. Move on. You've got the health is the key. If you've ever been sick, you realize health is the key. And if you've got your health and a positive attitude, you're 98% there.
You're absolutely right. Mine is giving myself grace on weight gain because I've gained weight this year. And in my mind, I wanted to feel a certain way about my body for my 60th birthday this month, right? Because I want to take pictures and be like, hey, I'm 60, this is 60. And I've decided to forgive myself because you're right. I started, of course, I do things in extreme, started really exercising at home and cutting out calories. And then I started feeling really bad, right? Because my body was in shock, like, oh, you're cutting out. I decided to go easy, exercise bit by bit. I don't have to kill myself in one day.
This is Noom. Go on.
Well, I know about Noom. Yeah. So anyway, I'm just trying to be more gracious with myself and not try to be so severe about the weight loss. And I hated the way I felt. I usually feel very healthy, and feeling bad really kind of knocked some sense into me because I thought, you know what? I'd rather feel good and have on a couple extra pounds than be super thin and not feel great. So
I agree 100%. I apologize. My daughter was texting me and she wants to play today. And I was listening and I agree 100%. Why drag why compound whatever the problem is or the situation is by not being positive about it?
Yeah.
Right? There's certain things you can't do. The die is cast. I ate that cheesecake. I wringing my hands about it, although I'm maybe sticking my finger down my throat. You can do something about it.
I've never been, I don't lead towards bulimia or anything like that. My issue is sugar, and we've talked about this. I do take in too much sugar.
Where's my shirt?
Do you have your sugar hole shirt?
Oh, no, I've got the other one.
Okay, your sugar hole. Oh, shoot before he fouls you.
We were playing with one guy. Every time you get an open shot, this guy would foul you. It's like, can we just play the game without all these fouls? I'm open. Let me shoot. No, he's got to tackle you. So after a year of that nonsense, I got a shirt. Shoot before he fouls you, because it's coming.
Is it just one guy that was doing it?
One guy, pain in the ass guy.
Why wouldn't you guys just kick him out? That's what chicks would do, man. Divide and conquer. Gone. You have
we give people a chance to recover. We had one big guy, 6'6". He was bigger than me, older than me, Andy, and bulkier. I mean, I go around 200. Andy's probably was 250 plus.
Okay.
You get that extra large size, you can do a little bit of damage. Well, Andy loved to swing his elbow and clear everybody out, before you do a move to the hole. Andy, you got to stop doing that. And about after 6 times, you know what, Andy, why don't you go play somewhere else?
Yeah, because you guys, you're playing for your health, but it's for fun too,
yeah,
right?
nobody wants to get injured. Andy doesn't give a shit.
Yeah.
You've got to always risk reward whenever you're engaging with guys our age. It's like, is you getting 2 points here worth, giving this guy a bad back for the next 6 months or forever? I mean, I had a guy push me from behind. I tumbled. I fucked up my hand. I was, I was seriously injured for a couple of weeks and then mildly injured for a year while the thing was healing. It's like, this is crazy. You cut me off. I went flying, fell on my wrist. It's like, it was nuts. It's like, was it worth it? Here's the ball. It's not worth it to me. If you want the ball and you're going to, cut me from behind. That's insane.
Did you say to him, like, what are you doing? Did he acknowledge what he did was?
Everybody. Oh no, I got my feet, our feet tangled. If you're coming from behind, it's up to you to make sure you don't get tangled and you don't engage, whatever.
See, women are different. If we were, here's what a woman, because we're all up here. If a girl would knock down another girl, you know what would do? Would find out who her boyfriend was and have sex with him.
No, this guy didn't have a girlfriend. You know what? This is the same guy that he was. I mean, we typically play against each other. You get 5 guys, you get 10 guys on a team. I didn't expect to talk about basketball, but it's just fun. I haven't played in a year. Yeah. You get 10 guys, and then usually this guy matches to this guy, or this, so you don't put all the same people on the team. You match and match. I match with the other 6'4" guy, but if he's not there, I'm going to match with this guy, right? Sure. So they're not going to put us on the same team. We're always against each other. We were playing one time and he wouldn't let, every time I'm moving, I'm rolling. He's grabbing my shirt. He grabs my shirt and I pull away and he doesn't release and he rips my shirt. And it's funny. I don't know if you've ever had these moments where it's kind of an out of body experience. You're watching yourself do something.
Yes. And
I said, if you put your hand on me, I'm going to hit you in the fucking face.
Nice.
And it's like, hey, what? I said, I'm going to hit you in the fucking face. I'm going to hit you right in the fucking face. Everybody's freaking out because it's the gym. Yeah. No cursing in the gym is like rule number 1 because it's a public gym. You're going to be asked to leave.
Yeah.
And they're like, hey, you can't say that. I said, I'm going to hit him in the fucking face. I said it 10 times. And then it's like, let's go at it right now. Grab my shirt because I was ready.
Did he understand what he was doing?
He's a dick. He knew exactly what he was doing.
Yeah.
But it's an interesting thing because I've also have this theory, and I say old white guys, but it could be, I'm sure everybody's got the same thing where you've taken 30 years as some boss telling you your shit is tough. Your wife's telling you you're not any good. Your kid's not paying attention. So you got this 30 years of pent up. You're going to have one fight and it's going to be, you don't want it, hopefully, because it's going to explode in one moment and it's going to be an overreaction for the guy pulling your shirt, but it's going to unload in this guy's face if he keeps it up. Well, I don't know. Do you think you got one fight in you? One more fight?
Oh, I've got several, man.
Have you ever had a physical fight where you punch someone in the face?
No.
Okay. Have you ever been punched in the face?
No.
Have you ever punched anyone in the body? In anger, not a relative, not your daughter's husband, a stranger, or somebody that's not related to you.
No.
So you've never been in a fight.
I've never been in a fight.
Okay, there you go.
I've never been in a physical fight. I told you about that one time at Publix. Those 2 guys, the old guy was being attacked by a younger guy, and I threw myself in between them.
Yeah, because as a chick, you can play that card.
I really thought as a woman it would clear their heads. Like, what the fuck are we doing?
Exactly. It was funny. I was watching somebody on Facebook posted a picture of 2 women going at it. I mean, 2 like 35-year-old hot women. Just it evolves into hair pulling and wrestling, but they were raining blows. And here come these 2 fat firemen. Hobbling up. I'm like, oh my God, this is embarrassing. And they got their fire shirt on. It's like, And they're like, hey, you stop it. It's like, they're like weebles. They couldn't even get down low enough to stop them from fighting.
Yeah, no, I've never been in a physical fight. I do believe um, if someone's life was threatened that I could be
Of
physically
course.
strong. It's not in me to, I'm
I
not.
was ready. I was ready to punch him right in the face.
Yeah. Did he back down? Did he take you seriously?
He's always confused. Everyone's always confused when they do stuff. What are you talking about? I go, you
Oh,
ripped my fucking shirt. What are you talking about?
no ownership.
Yeah. And so everybody's yelling at me to stop dropping the F bomb because
Right.
we like to continue to play basketball here.
Yeah.
And I'm like, go fuck yourself. I'm gonna hit him in the fucking face. And even as they would talk about the incident 6 months later, they would
Yeah.
never say the F bomb. They'd say, oh, remember when Tom said he's gonna hit him in the face? I said, no, I said I was gonna hit him in the fucking face.
Very different. Well, what is this man's wife? I'll take care of it.
He's not married. He's, whatever.
Where does he live? I will handle it. I'll get a group of gals.
And you know what? We just wished each other a happy new year the other day and Merry Christmas. So I mean, and then it is what it is, and we're moving on.
Okay.
Because he knows I'll go. So
Yeah.
you want to go, we'll go. So we've established, but it's like sometimes on a guy, you've got to establish a little pecking order. Otherwise they'll just push till you don't play anymore. Till you're like, oh, don't stop touching me.
Yeah, no,
And
that's awful.
you don't want to be, then you get bullied on the basketball court. It happens.
Yeah. No, nobody needs to get bullied. That's
No.
very important that you stand up for yourself.
But in sports, you've got to defend your territory. I'm not an aggressive person. I'm not that type of person, but I know the rules. If I don't stand up for myself, he'll just push me all over the court.
I mean, didn't they acknowledge that he ripped your shirt? Wasn't that even a moment of like, hey?
The thing of it is with some people, I'm identified as a little bit of a troublemaker.
Oh, got it. Okay.
In this group.
Yeah.
Because I'm always mixing it up. I'm telling everybody what's what.
Yeah.
And because I'm laughing. We're playing ball.
Right.
I'm talking trash.
Yeah.
But I'm having fun. It's never anything serious.
Right.
But some people take me seriously.
No,
there were a few guys in the crowd go, yeah, maybe he does, fuck him. He probably deserved to get his shirt ripped.
Yeah.
So at that point, I don't give a shit about anybody else. It's just me against this idiot. So
Right.
if you want to support me, fine. If you don't want to support me, that's your option too. But I'm living my best life. And if that includes punching this guy in the face, it's going to include punching this guy in the face.
And isn't it funny though, what you said about how everybody is put into a box of who people think you are, right? Oh, this guy's this guy's this. In my family, I'm known as the troublemaker because if something happens, I'll talk about it. And nobody wants to talk about it.
Right.
So
right.
My word loses its value because I talk about stuff. So if something important happens, I have to ask Carol, hey, can you tell me Mom? Because Carol has more value because
she's never played. She's got a pile of chips in her back pocket.
I know.
Your chips are flying all the time.
You're flying. People are ducking and weaving. So
You're the boy that cried wolf a little bit.
I'll say stuff, man, if something happens. So speaking of saying stuff, we did the Zoom New Year because my mom and sister are in Florida. We're in New York. And I love this little book. You and I have talked about the book of questions, which I love. There's also a book that's a little bit darker called How Far
Book
Would
of
You
fucking questions.
So it's how far would you go? It's
really.
So I was digging through it and I thought, oh, these questions are so scary. I can't randomly ask them. I need a system so I'm not blamed for the question because remember, I'm the podster. And
right. Carol, come over here. Can you read these 9 questions?
So here's what I did. So it was Carol, who's my sister, my mom, my niece Trina, my daughter Alex, and me. We're all on FaceTime. And
what about that librarian niece of yours?
Yes, Trina. Yes.
Oh, is that Trina?
Yeah, she was there. And so the questions start on page 3. They end on page 127. So I'd say, Mom, pick a number. So she picked a number. So I'd go to that page. And then I'd say, Carol, pick right or left. So then I could do this. And then I'd say, Trina, pick 1 through 7. And then that way I wasn't blamed for the question, right?
Not setting your mother up for some deep, dark secret you set me up.
Right. And so then it got to the point where, because Mom likes kind of competitive things, and she wants to keep up with everybody. So then at one point I did like 3 of them. And then I go, Mom, give me a number. And then Mom goes, 126, right, 7. She wanted to call all of this stuff. So I looked, I was like, let me see. And of course it was a very dark one. And so I asked it because everybody's like, oh, Mom's pulling the power. She wants all this stuff. But it turned out to be very lively and fun. And it kept
That's great.
it kept the conversation going. So I definitely want to ask you a question from how far would you go? So I'm going to do the same thing with you because I don't want to purposely pick a very dark question. So pick between 3 and 127.
All right. It's 33.
33. And then pick right or left.
Left for Joe Biden.
Okay, left. And then pick, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Sorry, I said no politics.
That's okay. Pick between 1 and 7.
Oh, how about let's keep with the 3s?
Okay, so 3. Okay, so this is the question on page 33 on the left, number 3. It is, what is the least amount of gratitude that you've ever been shown? The least amount of gratitude. Have you had a situation where you're like, well, that's messed up?
That's an interesting question. So you got to go with whatever your head is in your headspace.
Yeah.
And it's mine. I didn't come up with a big one. I came up with a little one.
Okay.
I always think it's classic when you hold the door for somebody and they just breeze through like you're a peasant and that was expected.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not very dark. I'd say that, I'll just say in general, I've had relationships where I've done something that I thought was amazing or something that was, wow, that's kind of uncalled for. And I hate to give this is a shitty answer because I can't identify the people involved.
Right.
Yeah. But that's like, really not even some sort of sexual thank you.
Oh, you wanted a sexual thank you.
Yeah.
Oh.
Nothing.
Well, and that's interesting too, because I guess, was the person purposely holding back because they knew that's what you wanted, or did they not have any idea that's what you were hoping for? You know what I mean?
Oh, in this situation, I think they
Yeah,
knew
in that situation.
When it's interesting, it's an interesting dynamic in relationships. All right.
Yeah.
And I've had it happen. It happened when I was with my first girlfriend when I was 16.
Okay.
Whereas there's a problem, and then there's a separation, and then one person wants to come back and solve the problem, and the other person isn't ready.
Yeah.
Right, and rejects their overture. Then they think about it and say, you know what? Maybe I was wrong. I'm gonna go back. Now this person rejects the overture, and you get into this seesaw rejection of overture situation, which is doesn't solve the problem. But it says, I'm not gonna acknowledge your kindness because I'm still angry, and then you kindness, and that's like, fuck you. You rejected my overture, so you get into this blender effect.
How do you fix it? Because also in relationships, don't you think you kind of take turns? Like,
yes,
right? I always
absolutely.
So it's her turn now, and
no, you got what it is. It's communication, and you identify that dynamic, and then you're able to talk about that dynamic, and then try to come to an unemotional decision.
Yeah. And we talked about this last year about how important communication is, right? In relationships, you don't take classes, you don't study, you kind of learn by default. And if anything else in your relationship should be handled is communication, because that's where the wheels fall off.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, all right. So that was a good one. I want to see, there's so many dark ones. Let's do another one.
Sure.
I know you're going to get a dark one. Between 3 and 127.
Go, you just pick one out.
Oh,
I don't feel you're setting me up.
There's so many. There's a lot of.
Just go open the book and just go on one page and put a finger on something.
All right.
Put your finger on something.
Okay.
If I had $1 for every time I said that.
This one isn't. I want it to be sexual. There's a lot of sexy ones, and I was so interested if we were going to deal with that last night with my mother, and then it never happened. And now I can't. Okay. Oh, see, I don't even think you could answer these.
Go
I'm,
ahead.
I'm going to throw them out there. Okay. Okay, all of these. Let's just do all. They're all crazy. Okay. Who is the person you most regret having sex with? To say it out loud because I understand that's a
It's
very
funny. Let me just tell you how crazy I am.
okay.
Or how crazy, whatever. I remember I dated this one woman and I was in my early 20s.
Yes.
And we were in bed, probably on our second date.
Yeah.
And she was a little bit heavy. I mean, this is crazy. It's like you think Curly is heavy from the Three Stooges.
Yes.
So, he's a little heavy. He's an average person now. Curly is
Yeah.
not, just like when you think about the uh anyway, so that's as an example. She was a little bit heavy. But my previous girlfriend was very thin.
Okay.
I remember I started to take off her panties. I'm like, wow, she's got all this fat hanging over her panties.
Uh-oh.
I'm less interested. So we never did have sex.
Oh.
It's crazy.
Oh. See? But then there is not a did you well, I guess you can't have a conversation about that, can you? Because how would you
Oh, I said uh, I couldn't perform because I was thinking about my old girlfriend. I guess it's been
ah
hasn't been long enough, and that's what she said. Yeah, you're right. It's not long enough.
okay, so that's a tough one to answer. Who do you most
Uh,
regret?
you, you know what? It's funny though. I dated one woman a while back. It's years, right?
Yeah.
And every man thinks they want a sexual tiger.
Yes.
I want a woman that's just
Yes.
the switch is on all
Yes.
the time until you
Yes.
actually get a woman like that.
Yes.
It's like, hey, baby, I'm okay. I'm kind of a little bit exhausted here.
Yep.
I don't think I can go for 8 hours, or I'm
Right.
interested. I mean, we were having sex in the driveway,
Yeah.
sex in the car, sex on the table. It was like, whew, this is great for once in a while, but I can't. It's
Right.
I couldn't. I'm not. You know what? I'm not interested in a steady diet of that.
Right. Yeah.
You
And
know,
at what point isn't it addiction where they're feeling something? You know what I mean? Like,
it was crazy.
yeah, yeah. I feel like most of the guys I've dated were very addicted to proving how sexually, fit they were. It seems to be a thing, especially as men age, to, talk about not about hey I need some time but about I'm always ready that whole like yeah don't you worry about it.
Oh
I mean
no, you have this realization as you're older. It's like I'm working on a joke about this. Is that
yes
how women are always nervous that you're trying to get in their pants and they don't want to bend over to get something out of the freezer for fear that
yes
you're just going to lift up their skirt and all this other stuff. Whatever the mentally thing is, right? It's like, oh
yes
no, baby, that ship has sailed a long time ago. Everybody's got to be focused on getting this thing going for
yeah
anything to happen. The dog barks in the back in the distance.
yeah
Ugh, I'm distracted. We got to start all over again.
yeah no that's a reality with sex. And I think that's interesting too because we don't learn a lot about sex either, right? We kind of learn by default. There's not a lot. I mean, other than having like, didn't I ask you? You didn't have sex ed at your school because you went to a private Catholic school, right? You had no sex ed. So where did you learn about sex from?
Well, I learned about it's funny because as a grammar schooler, I bought everything you want to know about sex, but were afraid to ask.
Okay.
I was like in seventh grade, eighth grade when that book came out.
Yeah.
So I learned about sex there, and I had a Christian brother. I through a weird sense of happenstances, I was always considered to be, a smart kid. I never worked hard enough to get into the advanced placement thing, but I was never because they broke up the school into three levels.
Oh.
Idiots down here, let's get these guys in the wood shop, you know, college bound here. And then, these guys could be doctors or something over here. Okay. That's how St. Pat's broke down the 300 kids in each class. And I was always in the middle, college bound, never here, never a screw up, not
Yeah.
woodshop. But on this one class, I ended up in with this group of guys. These were good guys. These are my friends, you know.
Yeah.
And I remember the Christian brother was always rubbing his head. He's always thinking about, how to help these kids and,
Oh,
how it's gonna be. And he's always pulling at his face. I
oh,
remember it now, it's plain as day. He looked like Mr. Burns, right? But he,
really?
but he had a heart of gold.
Okay,
And
that's good.
he's like, okay, for this class of, probably not going to college guys, we're just gonna have conversations about life. And they used to tell about stories about how he worked at the work camps, during World War II, and during the
Wow.
Depression. He was working out west, building roads in national parks. So he was more like stories. But he said, hey, by the way, whenever you have sex, if you're not going to wear rubber, I hope you do, but if you don't, always go pee after you have sex.
Really?
Cleans out the old canal.
That's very, don't you think that's very progressive of him to
The year was 1975.
okay.
Yeah. If anybody's, but here's a guy laying down some real practical knowledge
Yeah.
that, not for nothing, you have sex with somebody you're not your regular partner or whatever, fellas, at least give yourself a little bit of a chance to dodge a bullet by going pee afterwards.
And then was it taken seriously? Like no one laughed at
Oh, everybody's like, yeah, anything else?
okay, nice. Well, wouldn't it be great if we all had like a safe place to learn about sex and we could ask
Yeah.
those questions? Because
No, that wasn't nowhere. I had not picked that little tip up from anywhere. And then, by the way, it's pretty much been my rule of thumb over the years.
that's so interesting. I think I told you this before. Like, I had like sex ed in fifth grade. It's very rudimentary, and you don't really learn a lot. I learned everything else because my parents were very conservative. They never did. We never sat down and have the talk, other than my dad and mom said, "Don't have sex."
There you go. Anything else? And pass the gravy.
Yeah. And so I learned from my friends in school, which is a very unfortunate way to learn about sex because they don't have all the information and it's not emotionally strong. It's all just all the physical stuff. And it was really, now that I think about it, it was all really about what the boys wanted. It wasn't really about how to please yourself as a woman. It was like, guys like this and do that. You know what I mean? It's kind of interesting, and sex is always better if both partners know exactly what they want, right? Because as a man, if you're with a woman that only knows how to please you, I would imagine at the beginning that's very fun, but you don't want to be with a lady that you're not pleasing because I think it would run pretty
Of course.
yeah,
Yeah, that's lose. All
yeah.
right, one more question, then I get to get to my topics.
Oh crap. Oh, okay.
I'm a hard out at 1 o'clock, darling.
That's what you always say. What's the
You
longest
want you want these shows to last 3 hours. You're like that woman you're insatiable.
I am insatiable. You got to reel me in, buddy. I don't know my boundaries.
Tick tock. Spencer and I are going to go for a hike in Brooker Creek today.
Okay. Oh, that sounds so nice.
Yeah.
What's the single most bizarre place you've ever had sex?
Whew. Okay. There was a particular run I had where sex in the parking lot at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers parking lot.
Oh,
Sex at the Overlook on a road trip somewhere out west, I think.
oh, nice.
Um, you can't beat sex in a car. Mostly it's oral sex while you're driving. That's quite delightful.
That sounds like a win for you.
Yeah, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just saying, you're asking the questions.
Yeah, no, I'm just curious.
Now
I'm
you're chiding me for not servicing the woman.
chiding you because it made me
You're
think
chiding me.
I could never think of a way that I could be driving that I could get oral sex while I'm driving. I just don't think it would work.
No, probably not. I think that's a little harder. And then you know what? Frankly, it's not a pleasurable experience because you're driving the car. At some point you got to focus on. You're going to have an orgasm. You got to focus on that for a little bit.
Yeah.
But I love the idea of it. It's like
Yeah.
what a lovely, fun thought that
Yeah.
you're driving, and let me just tell you how much I appreciate you taking the taking the wheel.
Thank you for the ride. That's very good for me. Very quickly, so we can get to your
Your
topic.
Uber drivers would enjoy that too.
Yeah, I hear that there is, yeah, some Uber drivers would be very open to that. When I lived in LA and I wasn't very sexually adventurous, so I don't know what happened to me. I was at a party and there were people everywhere and they had an outside jacuzzi.
Uh-huh.
And this guy that I had a major crush on, he didn't really like me as much as I liked him, but he knew I had a crush on him and we were in the jacuzzi and we had like bathing suits on. And during the party, even though nobody was out there, it was very scandalous. We had sex in the jacuzzi during the party. At any point, it was very exciting. At any point, someone could have come out. You know what I mean? Like,
Really?
very exciting.
I find that sex in the water is very difficult.
It wasn't. It was more exciting, the idea.
Right. Kind of like oral sex while driving the car.
Yeah, exactly. And then the other thing was when I was younger, he was driving the car. I was on
Go
top.
on.
We were actually having sex while he was driving, but it was out in the country. Yeah. I was very young, very limber.
So are you facing the windshield or facing him?
I was facing him.
Wow.
He was watching the road and I was watching him.
Isn't that exciting?
Yeah, I thought that was very exciting.
Absolutely.
So, all right, what are your topics? Let's go.
Let's do it. Tell me when to stop.
Oh.
Tinder swipe. ER, $1,000, mental decision. Many more topics than we can get to.
Ooh, tell me when to stop. Yes. Yes. Continue. Go ahead. For anybody on iTunes, Tom has a measuring
Tape measure.
and he's pulling it, and I guess he's waiting for me to stop. But I like this game, so I'm going to have him keep going. I'll probably be harmed by this later, but I feel like it's not enough. I feel like, I'm a woman of adventure. Why would I have you stop when it's just clearly such a short amount of measuring tape? He's going slower, which makes me think he's trying to make me tell him to stop because he seems overly cautious about how much he's pulling that out. It's very slow. He's going very slow. Yeah, I could do this for a while. I don't see the need. I mean, his arm is starting to go above his head, so it's going more.
So you're not saying stop here?
I'll say stop.
No, forget it. You're not even playing.
What happened? What were we testing?
You would know what we were talking about.
Tell me when to stop. As long as you warn me ahead of time so I am aware of what's going on. We women always want to be warned ahead of time. Tell me about the ER. You said you wanted to talk about the ER.
So I stepped on something, I'm guessing a month ago, maybe a pebble or a piece of glass or something.
Yes.
I didn't think anything of it. And about 2 weeks ago, as I'm walking on barefoot, again, I rarely walk barefoot anywhere because of my foot condition. I got neuropathy. But anyway, I'm walking and I go, wow, am I stepping on a Lego? I've got this little sharp stabbing pain off of my toe.
Yeah.
Off the ball of my foot. And I think nothing of it. I feel it. No, there's nothing there. I I feel like a little bump underneath the there.
Yeah.
Long story short, I had, Tina and the kids have a look at it. And it's like, oh, we don't see anything. There's a bump there. Looks like you got a callus. So I'm thinking that something is like a pebble or something is under there. And then the callus is growing on top of it. So it doesn't bother me when I'm wearing a shoe, but walking around barefoot is like, wow, that's ouch. So the question is this a problem? Do I have to go to a front foot doctor? Do I have to go? Can I walk into the ER? And can I walk into a clinic? Or do I have to make an appointment with my regular doctor, of which I haven't seen in 5 years, 8 years?
Well, my advice would be, I always say go to your regular doctor. They know you, they have your records, they know what's important, what's not important. I've gone to walk-in clinics and not had great experience with them just because, yes, they're trained to take care of you, but overall, they know they're not going to see you again. I don't think there's.
I think someone's going to have to cut.
Yeah.
Give me a little something, cut, and see what's in there.
So I would say regular doctor, unless it's bothering you tremendously, then I'd say go straight to the ER. That's
Yeah, well, I'm fine to walk around, but I'm saying this is not a condition I can go forward with.
yeah, I would say regular doctor. I mean,
Want to see it? I don't think I could see it.
you're lucky to have a regular doctor.
This could be, let's say we were on an ER, well, we're on a doctor call.
Yes.
He,
You're trying to show all the ladies how big your feet are. I know what this is about. I can't see that with this camera. There's no way. I guess I can kind of see a callus there.
yeah.
For everybody on iTunes, Tom is proudly showing everyone his foot.
My foot is bigger than my head.
Look at you showing off. See how he has his ways of letting everybody know that size matters.
Tell me when to stop.
Right? And he's pulling out the tape measure again. Good Lord, man. And I'm dead. Yeah, I would say regular physician just because they know you and they have.
I'm saying I haven't seen my regular physician in 8 years. He may be dead.
Well, I would say create a regular physician. I think they're really important to have, honestly.
I know. I'm a bad. All right, so that was that.
My
Tell me when
advice.
to stop. ER, that's 2 of our topics.
Yes. Was there something about saying sorry or something?
Mental decision, $1,000 Tinder swipe.
Oh, there's nothing about saying sorry. Where did I make that? I made that. Tell me how you're sorry.
In your fantasy, yeah, I'm saying I'm sorry about this, that, or the other thing.
Tell me about your Tinder swipe.
No, I'm just working on another material about Tinder dating.
Yeah.
And I'm having an instant relationship with the person that I don't know how, we've talked about this a little bit, but it's
Yeah.
like Tinder swiping. So my analysis is the idea of living a lifetime in a second with the person you see on the page, right?
Yeah.
Oh no. She's never going to stop bossing me around. I've seen that look before, the pursed lips.
Yeah.
She makes weird sounds, I suspect. Can't cook.
We make up stories in our heads that are probably not even true.
How can I look at a woman and think she can't cook? These are actual thoughts I had when I was on, the swiping.
We do. That is exactly what we do when we look at those photos.
Wait a minute. This picture, she's got long hair. This one, she's got short hair. Does she have a button in the back on her spine to make the hair come out or come in? Where are we at?
Oh, see? So that's a bad thing that she has different looks. Interest.
Looks like she just tasted something sour.
Oh,
Lots of corrections in my future.
Oh, Lord. Yeah, but none of those sound great.
No. And then the closer is, look at her. Sweet smile, high cheekbones, cute figure, standing in the sun, offering me a drink. Is that a massage table in the background?
Is that bad?
I'm not falling for that witch's tricks.
Oh, Lord. Good Lord.
Yeah. So even when they look perfect, there's still suspicion.
You know what? I think it's funny you're saying that because here's what I did before we started our show today. You're a Leo, right?
Correct.
So I looked up your.
Are you Capricorn, right?
I'm an Aquarius.
Aquarius. Oh, all right.
So I looked up your horoscope for the year to kind of see what it says about you, and I think it's interesting. So before I read your horoscope, and then you tell me what you think about it. Have we talked about Chinese astrology before, you and I?
I don't believe so, Your Honor.
Okay, so with Chinese astrology, it goes more into depth, and you find out if you're like an earth, a metal, a wood, and then you find out what your astrological sign is in the animal family. Like I'm a metal rat. And what that means, I know, but it means a lot of very interesting things. And at first I was upset that I was a rat, but then I've come to learn like rats are survivors. The rats are actually very clever. There's a lot of good things about
Is a rat the time of the year you're born?
Yes, a rat has to do with the year that you're born and the date that you're born, and it's just more in depth. I'll look yours up.
Yeah, I thought I was a rat too.
Oh, you could possibly be. So for this year, it's saying in 2021, everyone should be feeling more in their element astrologically speaking. That 2021 marks the beginning of what we call the Aquarian decade. As planets shift, it's a future forward humanitarian sign. So that's good, right? It's a future forward humanitarian sign. So I believe I saved your, okay. So it says, welcome to 2021, Leo. Much of this year is going to be spent picking up the pieces of the one that you just had before, but life will go on. This year brings massive change for you on both professional and personal levels as the stars push you to look closely at partnerships of all kind. Now, I looked at a couple of different Leo things, and they're all saying, because I want to pull up this other one, they're all saying this is the year for you to have a partner. Like, this is really going to happen. It says your overall theme for 2021 is to set yourself up to pairing mode, because 2 is your magic number. From business to romance to creative pursuits, you'll do your best work with a +1 by your side.
Huh.
It says creatively, you're in your element this year. It says if you have a vacancy in your love life, the seat won't be empty for long, because Jupiter is stabilizing Saturn, and things are going to happen. It says this results into pairing up, and you're going to be in a committed relationship. But it says it's up to you, Leo, because this is what sparked it when you were saying about all these women. It's up to you to define what true love looks like. Traditions be damned. So forget about traditions. You decide what true love is going to be like. And of course it goes on, but yours is all about like partnership, and you're going to be a partner, blah, blah, blah.
It was funny. I always thought that I'd like to have a partner on the cart deal, somebody that was connected, somebody with deep pockets.
Yeah. And
know?
so you will. And so the funny thing about when I'll dig in deeper, but metal rats and the date that I was born and the time that I was born, it gives you in Chinese astrology, like your overall life and what looks good for you. And they have things like money, relationships, health, right? In my relationship column, there's stars from they have 5 stars, and so they show you like everything for me is pretty good. Like it says I'll always make money, I'll always be successful when I'm working for myself, that my health is good, will always be pretty good until the end. In my love life, from 0 to 5 stars, guess how many stars and what it says about my partnership in this lifetime?
Don't buy anything twofers. 1 is you know what? You're number 1.
It actually says, and I've known this for years, 0 stars.
What?
0 stars. It says that in this lifetime, partnerships aren't good for me, and that I'm not likely to find the love of my life in this
Really?
lifetime.
Well,
Yeah.
that's sad.
But you know what? I'm not sad about it. I will say it kind of took some pressure off of me, because in our world, we're set up to go partner, 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 partner.
Exactly.
Right?
It's exhausting. And then you're happy
Yeah.
for 3 months. And then it's like, how did I get into this? Why did this door open? I ended up here.
Yes, exactly. And I will say in my lifetime, I was married a long time, and I've had short-term, long-term relationships. I've always done better financially when I'm alone, and I've always actually been
I
happier.
know, but isn't it depressing thinking about traveling to somewhere without a partner? I mean, I get sad thinking I'm never going to go to Europe unless I meet some gal that's interested in going to Europe.
Well, here's what I have to say about that. With work, I traveled a lot alone. I like traveling alone, but when I think about future plans, like I'm planning when the world is safe, I'm planning on a trip to Ireland. I'm bringing my sister.
There
So
you
for
go.
yeah, so for me, I
You
don't
have the same sexless tour of Ireland that I had.
tour of Ireland. That's my goal. But here's the thing: we're planning on hanging out in pubs. I like the idea of
Of course.
not being in a love relationship, because then I don't have an right an obligation
Absolutely.
or
You
anything.
need
So
you need a nice Sean or a
that's
Luke.
right. Or an O'Brien or an
Hello,
O'Malley
Brian.
or somebody like that. So yeah. So it'll be totally fun. And I think it's actually more fun to travel when you're single, because I think you pay attention to the world more and
Oh,
what
no doubt about it. If you're coupling, you're over here in a pub, you're over here in the corner,
yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely. No.
Yeah. So
I
I've
could
accepted the fact that I won't find the love of my life, which is fine. I've been in
it's plus it's an astrology book. Okay. It's not written in stone
love.
like the
Fuck with astrology. It's real. Look at you. Are you looking up a grandpa's?
You know what? Maybe me and you and Patrick and Carol could all travel together.
I would totally travel in a team. I think it'd be hilarious. You guys want to go to Ireland? Because I'm going to go for 2 weeks.
Yes, we're doing that.
Yeah.
We're going to Japan next year too.
Japan. I've never been to Japan. That
Well,
would be
my girls are going to be teaching in Japan. And so I said, let's go.
I would love to go somewhere where I'm considered tall. That would be lovely.
Yeah. I think that's at Disney World.
Oh, darn it, man. I really thought I would be tall.
It's a small world. Yeah, if you go on that ride, you're considered to be tall. They're always tall.
I'm never tall anywhere I go. I saw a funny thing, because you're 6'4", correct?
Yes, ma'am. Did you see
So,
my feet?
oh yeah, the feet. Everybody, again, Tom is showing his abnormally large, I think size 15. In reality, it's 14 and a half, but we're going to call it a 15.
Wow.
That there was a tall guy at a concert, and on the back of his shirt, it said sorry. Because, as a tall guy,
Right. No, I like that.
that weird feeling of like, dude, I know it, but I'm a person too. Like, I want to watch the concert too. But for short people, I thought that was actually cute. I could forgive a guy that has a shirt that says sorry because he's acknowledging, like, look, man, I got to stand somewhere.
Yeah, I got to be somewhere. It's
Yeah.
funny. I applaud your remembering the facts and figures of my feet, but I was listening to a podcast,
Yes.
and gosh dang it, the guy who was being interviewed was Neil deGrasse Tyson. All right.
Love him.
And Jason Bateman was the interviewer. He's got a very interesting podcast. All right.
Okay,
And so they're talking astrology, and they're talking about, and Jason Bateman was able to throw out the speed of light from memory.
Oh.
Okay.
Right.
And then he also says it takes 7 minutes for the light from the sun to hit the earth. Right.
Okay.
DeGrasse Tyson corrects him. He goes, yeah, it's really a little more like 8.5 minutes.
Oh.
I'm like, you're giving this guy no love for knowing the speed of light and ballparking how long it takes for light to hit from the sun. I go, wow, you're a pretty tough taskmaster to not throw this guy a little bit of a bone to know those figures. I mean,
that's funny. I have one of his books I bought last year when we were allowed to go out in the world. In January, I went shopping and got one of his books. I just think he's so fascinating, right? Like, he knows so many, he can speak to science and the earth in a way that we can all kind of understand, I think. And he makes it funny and interesting.
I thought you were talking about Jason Bateman.
Well, I love Jason Bateman too.
Neil deGrasse Tyson. Yeah, Neil's fun. But yeah, I thought he was a little rough on Jason on that one.
Is it always Neil deGrasse Tyson, or can we just say Neil, or we wouldn't know who we're talking about, right? It's the full name.
Yeah, you got to say, see, if you say Tyson, no one, Neil Tyson is like, what? No, it's deGrasse Tyson.
Yeah.
I mean, if I said Neil, who am I talking about?
Well, no, that's true. Jason,
Although once I've established I'm talking about Neil deGrasse Tyson, I guess I can just say Neil.
I forgive you.
I'm in a state of forgiveness now. I'm receiving the forgiveness. I'm forgiving myself.
Did you watch at the beginning of the pandemic Jason Bateman's latest series? I believe it's called Ozark.
I saw that. Here's me. I saw that by myself the first season.
Okay.
And I'm like, wouldn't this be much more fun if I was cuddling on the couch with somebody watching this? So I didn't watch the second season. And then I didn't watch the third season. I'm saying, is this how your life's going to be? You're not going to watch shit unless there's somebody next to you? Because I've never watched TV by myself. I rarely watch movies by myself. I watch the news. I always I've got all this shit piled up for this fantasy of when I'm on the couch.
Wow. I love watching stuff by myself. I would go out to the movies by myself in real life. I like that.
Yeah, that's not me. Like, I started watching, I was on a date. We watched Queen's Gambit,
Yeah.
And then I found out, I said, hey, you've been watching it? Oh yeah, I finished the whole series.
Oh.
I guess we're not watching that together.
That is tough when you're a partner, right? You have to agree that you're going to save the shows for each other, because that would be frustrating.
We weren't partnering, apparently.
Well, I think that was her way of letting you know that was not going to happen.
You're free to watch whatever you like.
Yeah. All right. So before we wrap, today is January 1st. I do want to remind everyone it's my birthday month. So if anybody.
No. You can't declare birthday month.
Listen, I'm a middle child. I will fight for every scrap
When is your birthday exactly? Is like the 23rd or something?
Inauguration Day.
The 20th. That's right. You've only said it 100 times. Oh, by the way, can I slide in one more topic?
Do it.
$1,000, right?
Yes.
So I'm online with a guy that I've known for 20 years.
Okay.
Maybe not 20, close.
Yeah.
Close. 15 plus.
Okay.
a respected man in the business
Okay.
that I'm in, but a screwball when it comes to Trump and the election,
Okay.
off the reservation.
Yeah.
And I've on in Facebook discussions, I've offered to bet people. I said, and I'm never insulting. You're an idiot. You're stupid. Hey, let's throw a little money in here. You got 1,700 conspiracies.
Yeah.
How about throw a little cash where this thing's flapping?
Yeah.
And everybody's backed down.
Oh,
They all of a sudden they can't find their checkbook because I said, hey, I said, let's spend $100. 100, let's make it 1,000. I go, you're on. Let's make it 1,000. And then he's done. He's disappeared from the thread. This is another guy, right?
okay.
So
All
I'm
right.
having this guy's like, he can't wait till January 6th comes to Pence declares that President Trump is the person that's won this election.
Yeah.
So in his mind, it's like, and all his followers are there. I go, fellas, the Supreme Court won't even look at this issue. It's never going to happen. So I don't call anybody names. I go, that's just a fact. They were presented an opportunity to vote on the case, and then unanimously they rejected the idea of even looking at it. I mean, this is a court that contains 3 Trump appointees, and they all said, you don't really have anything. You've not presented any evidence, so we're not going to even look at it.
Right.
I go, and I'm saying that's just reporting the news. I'm not slanting it. That's actually happened.
Right.
But
Right.
in their minds, they
Yes.
think that something's going to happen on January 6th.
Yes.
So
yeah.
So the guy says, and then we're very cordial, going back and forth. Now I'm engaging with this longtime friend of mine who's very much crazy.
Okay.
And he goes, hey, we should bet on it. I said, I'd gladly bet $100. He goes, let's make it 1,000. I go, absolutely. Absolutely. I bet $1,000. I said, but we've got to have a third party hold the funds.
Yeah.
I don't want to have to find you when
Right.
the inevitable happens.
What's the bet? What is the actual bet?
He says Trump will be inaugurated on January 20th, on your birthday.
Oh, Lord have mercy.
And he says he's willing to bet up to $10,000. He's got $7,000 already out in the ethers. Well, 6,000 plus mine is a 7. And if anybody else wants part of that $3,000 that he's got out there, bring it on.
Why? Well, I guess that shows the level of how much they bought into this, right?
Yep.
I still know people that think that they're just drooling, waiting for the 6 because they're very determined that Pence is going to say, this is it. And it is Trump. And I mean, come on, let's just take a step back from all the conspiracy theories and quit thinking that the entire world is in on the same damn joke and recognize that you could be wrong about this. Just recognize it. But it doesn't seem possible to the people that I see that they've hung on so tight.
It's insane. And Trump, to his unbelievable discredit, has, fed this beast and feeds this monster and is hoping for violence. He's hoping for violence on January 6th.
He's hoping for a lot of things. I know he called out about having martial law. That was one of his, as the president, he said that. And here's the thing that I find really fascinating. After all the lives we've lived, and 4 years is a small part of our lifetime, right? These last 4 years, it's become now the norm in the news when they say President Trump is trying to have martial law. No one is surprised. No one's losing their mind.
No, exactly. They're like, well, what else is new? It's been like this for 4 fucking years. Like the norm has left the building.
Yeah.
Like Cheers, where Norm has left the building.
Yeah. So I still expect, no matter what happens on the 6th, I expect the vote to go blue in Georgia just because so many people are involved. But no matter what happens on the 6th, I still expect trouble on the 20th. I do believe that Trump is not going to go out quietly and that they're going to want a little bit of trouble, right? Just a little bit of trouble.
Well, he knows he's going to jail.
Yeah. Everybody knows he's going to jail.
Yeah. If I was him, I'd probably not want to, I'd probably want to still be president too.
Yeah. He's in some trouble, but he's not smart enough. So unless someone is out there to save him, it's going to be an interesting little.
I apologize for bringing politics into this thing, but I also read an interesting article about the fact that these people that he's pardoned, Manafort and, the silver-haired idiot from Miami, you
Yeah,
know, now they're obligated to testify against him as they've been given immunity because they accepted the pardons.
that's right. And
Otherwise, they can go to jail for not testifying.
right. And I'm wondering, is he that ignorant of the laws that he didn't recognize that?
He doesn't know it. He doesn't know the Constitution. He's a president that doesn't understand the powers. He doesn't know what the levels are. I mean, he learned all that a little bit on the way. He thinks he's the king, and so when he says something, he doesn't know anything about repercussions. He's not
Right.
playing 5D chess. He's playing a shitty game of checkers.
Yeah, he really is. So yeah, so I hope for everybody's sake that whatever happens, especially the people that are hanging on to this, find a healthy way to get to the other side of it. Because I
Yeah,
right, I can understand if you have really bought into this and you're down that rabbit hole of conspiracies. It's got to be very difficult at this time when you see the world taking a different spin
yeah.
than you had
Well,
expected.
it's going to feed the flames. He's going to, start on the OAN network. He's going to have his own, and whatever. It's going to be a shitty 4 years for people that pay attention to that because it's going to be crazy.
Yeah, I think so too. The most exciting thing I heard about all of it is he said something about he's going to admit or share details about UFOs and alien space life. So I'm down with that. Like, let's
Yeah,
hear.
they apparently it was part. I didn't, I saw that briefly. It was partly integrated in the bill that they signed.
I saw that and I thought, is that real? Could they? First of
I
all, I like the way they do sneaky bills, like, oh,
right.
we're going to give you this money, but don't look at the alien story down. Why isn't each one separate and we decide separately? It's a false narrative.
And it's a horrible thing because 10 years from now, when the
Yeah,
people that voted for that bill, which they had, 7 minutes to read a 50,000 page bill.
right.
Oh, well, it's 7 years from now or 10 years from now, somebody this goes for both sides.
Sure.
That son of a bitch voted for that bill that funded, Chinese, bomb manufacturing. No, I was voting for the $200, $600 stimulus check that just
Right.
happened to be in there. Oh no, you voted for, Czechoslovakia to put their kids in cages. I was
I'm
I
telling
was
you.
voting for stimulus
No, and why do we do it that way? It's
who
very
knows?
wrong.
Because they love it because they don't want to talk about all their pork that they're jamming in there.
Right. That all has to be changed. That's not the way anything else works in life at
No,
all. That's not
no,
how. On a
yeah,
quick side note, I read this morning that Purdue, who is the Republican Party that's up for, the Senate, who I'm hoping will lose, was exposed to someone with COVID. So he now is quarantining for the 14 days, which is interesting because the vote is on the 5th. So I'm wondering how he's going to vote.
yeah. That's gonna be well. He doesn't have it. He's tested negative, but he's quarantining regardless.
He's quarantining regardless because he was exposed. So yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, it seems like a serious exposure. It wouldn't be like, oh yeah, that some guy in a crowd had it, and maybe you better sit down. It's probably a family member that he's been engaging with.
Yeah, probably.
One of
We
his whores has COVID.
yeah, we gotta end this on a high note though. We went down into politics and now we're talking COVID.
Sorry, I had to talk about that $1,000 bet.
Well, so it's gonna really happen. The bet's happening.
I told him, I said, the only way I'm going to do this is if the $1,000 is, set aside there. I don't have to go chase that money.
That's right. So is a third party involved? So you guys
He didn't want to do it. He just wanted to do it on his honor. I go, I trust you, but you're going to have a hard time finding your checkbook to write out $10,000 checks.
I'm not taking someone on their honor who's buying into conspiracy theories. Absolutely not. It's
I think there's a website that will allow you to bet
yeah,
and
it's
transfer
honorable
funds.
to lay the money down. That's what you do.
Yeah.
If you believe in your bet, you're going to lay your money down. So, well, good luck with that. So that we have to wait till the 20th for that.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, very interesting. Well, we're all going to be very aware, I think, of the 5th and 6th. The 5th is a vote. The 6th is when everything's going to be announced. So very exciting. And then today is Friday. So we are back on Monday, whatever date that is. But it's 2021, everybody. Everything is better. Everything is better. Everything is shinier. Everything is going to be okay.
There you go. It's a mental reset, if nothing else. It kind of gives us a chance to pause and say, okay, that was that, even though really everything is the same. But mentally, you've cleaned out the cobwebs and you hit the refresh button. And I like that. It's a good thing to do.
Oh, yeah. But, you need hope, right? You need
Yes.
hope to keep going on. And I think we all have hung on to the fact that once 2020 is over, we've got something to something to strive for. So it's official now. We're all working towards the betterment of mankind.
Amen.
And
Indeed. And my name's Tom Wise.
my name is Melinda Mckinsey.
And thanks for stopping by and unpacking some shit with us for a few minutes. And we'll see. Have a great weekend. And then we'll see you on the good Lord willing and the creek don't rise. We'll see you on Monday. And that's another one in the can.